This is the radiator from my Talbert Express. Now, I took the old one out. There wasn't actually anything wrong with it. It wasn't leaking. It was kind of working as it should do. That's the reason I actually took it out. And I put a new one in because I wanted it to be as new. But my original plan was to kind of half refurbish this one. And by half, I mean I wasn't going to go the whole way. But I was going to straighten out some fins. I was going to flush it right out and just give it a clean so it's like a spare. But the thing that I've realised is now I've got to make a decision because it's actually worse than I thought. I think it was a bit of a ticking time bomb, to be fair. I think it was about to spring a leak. There's a lot of rust down the bottom here. There's a bit of a hole there. Some of the fins are breaking off. I think it's worse than I thought it was. And I really don't think it was that far away from actually springing a leak, to be fair. Still got a bit of old water in there. Yeah, it's definitely worse than I thought it was. I mean, I knew about all the fins because I could see that anyway, but I hadn't realised how bad the bottom was. So, now, the thing is as well, it's actually starting to piece together some of the story of the Talbert. How is it piecing together the story, I hear you say? Well, I'll tell you why. Just a quick part of the story. When I first bought that Talbot, when I went to have a look at it, yeah, to you lot, to me even, loads and loads of red flags. But I'm not scared of red flags. I don't mind a bit of repairing. I don't mind a bit of work. So, and it's a good opportunity. When you've got to mend something, it's a good opportunity to make something your own. So, many things. But one of the main things that I thought was strange was when we took it out for a test drive, all he wanted to do was start it up, drive, come back, turn it off. He didn't want to let it run. And so I said to him, let's let it tick over. So he did. I said, let's look under the bonnet. He said, under the bonnet? I said, yeah, let's have a look under the bonnet. He said, why do you want to do that for? I said, well, because the engine's important. Without an engine, a camper van's pretty much pointless because you can't move it anywhere. Oh, okay, he goes. Anyway, he opens it up. I have a quick look. Didn't see anything untoward. Everything seemed alright. It ran alright. It looked alright. But I knew there was some red flags because I could see that it hadn't been looked at or maintained for a while. No problem at all. I can do that. We can mend stuff if stuff needs mending. Fairly simple engines, touch wood. Don't want anything to go wrong now. But I've done a fair bit. And when he said to me, I said, does the heating and all that work? He said, you don't need heat. I said, so the heating doesn't work? He said, no, but you don't need it. So then I knew the heating doesn't work. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm not afraid of any of that. So I got it. On the way home from picking it up, I realised that the temperature gauge didn't appear to work. It was stuck on stone cold the whole way home, which was about an hour and a half down the motorway. Should have been well hot by that point. So I thought, right, something's weird here. We've either not got a thermostat or that temperature gauge ain't working. So if you've not got a thermostat, the coolant's constantly going round, it's not being regulated, so it's overcooling essentially because it's going through the radiator. The thermostat does what it says on the tin, it regulates the temperature of the engine. So when I got home, I realised if you let it tick over, it gradually starts to go up. The temperature, so the gauge was working. And I thought, definitely got no thermostat. Took it apart. This is all documented in videos, by the way. I'm just giving you a bit of a summary. Anyway, took it apart, found the thermostat was non-existent, and there was a load of gloop rust. I thought it was rusty water, brown gloop in there. So I cleaned it all out, put new coolant in, flushed it out as much as I could, put a thermostat in, put coolant in, happy days, went about life. Later on in time, I decided it's time to get the heating working. So I bought a new radiator at the same time because I thought, well, if there's all brown rust, because I thought it was just rusty water, because I reckon that Talbot, that camper van, had been sitting on someone's driveway for years, and someone's decided to cut around it, cut all the grass from around it. I reckon it was sitting in a load of grass, to be honest with you. Just not started for ages, not lived in, nothing. That's what I think. And the people I bought it from may have known that, but anyway, that's a different story. So I bought a new radiator at the same time, with the idea of completely flushing out the engine and all the cooling system, the heater matrix, the lot, repairing the heater valve, which I did. I've got a video of that if you want to see that. You know, getting it so it's not got this gloop in it. But now I think about it, I think that wasn't rusty water. I reckon someone's put stop leak in it, because I reckon that radiator, hopefully it's not a head gasket, because if you've got a head gasket starting to leak, you put a bit of stop leak in, it'll plug up the little hole, and then it won't leak. The head gasket won't leak anymore. Head gaskets aren't that scary. It's not the end of the world. If it needs to be done, I can just do it. Take the head off, put a new gasket on, put it back on. It's not an overhead cam. The cam is inside the engine block. All that. I ain't got to mess around with any timing. I ain't got to mess around with none of that, because the cam is in the block. It's not an overhead cam, so fairly simple to do. It's just that bloody exhaust manifold I'll have to deal with. Typical bloody exhaust manifolds on them. Very difficult to get the studs out without them snapping. So we'll have to work around that. But so far, so good. Touch wood. I reckon that radiator was leaking. Somebody put a bit of stop leak in it, and it's just stayed in there ever since. Because when you put the stop leak in, you should take the thermostat out, because what will happen is the thermostat will get blocked by the stop leak, because it's thick. So that would explain why there's no thermostat. There was no thermostat because someone put some stop leak in it. They took the thermostat out, as you should do, and that's just how it stayed. Whether the previous owners knew that and didn't tell me, which is why they were sheepish about showing me the engine, I don't know. But I didn't care about it, and I still don't care, because to me, something like that's not a red flag to not buy something. To me, that's just something that's there. I'll have to mend it. Simple as that. Anyway, so I've got to make a decision now whether to try and refurb that rad or not, and I'm leaning towards not. Oh, have a look at this. It's an old edge trimmer. I must have had this for more than 10 years now. I bought it. I remember buying it second hand, but it was a shop return. Like someone had bought it, done an issue with it or something, and they returned it to the shop. So I got it as a returned thing, you know, really, really cheap. And I've had it more than 10 years now. I must have done, surely. But I think it's only probably seen about 4 Hedges in its whole lifetime. And it just kind of sits on the roof. Still got the bloody instruction manual for it here, look. Titan. I think that's a brand of Screwfix. I think it's Screwfix that do this. Got a little bit of petrol left in it. I want to try and get it to run, because I want to try and cut a hedge. I know someone that has got a hedge and it needs to be cut. Needs a bit of petrol. I'll stick a bit of petrol in it. Yeah, I know someone that's got a hedge and it's overhanging the path. And listen, if I can do something to help someone out, I ain't charging no money for it. If I can do something to help someone out, I will do. Same as with cutting down trees and that. So I've got a chainsaw. If anyone needs a tree cut down or anything like that I know of, they're local or whatever, I'll help them out. So they got a tree, they got a hedge, and it's overhanging the path. And you can't have a hedge overhanging the path. That's just bad manners. Do you know what I mean? The pathway should be clean and clear. So I said, don't worry, I'll come and give it a bit of a trim for you. But that means I've got to get this going first. So let's have a look, see if we can get it going, shall we? Let's stick a bit of petrol in it. It looks like the petrol's evaporated, and all I've got in there is oil. I do know there was a bit of glow fuel in there, a bit of nitro fuel was in there. Because I had a bit in a bottle and I thought, what can I do with that? I didn't want to throw it away because it'd be a waste. So I put it in there. But I think it's been running since then. So this is just, I think it's 25 to 1 2-stroke. It's a bit rich for it, but it'll be enough to get it running. Let's give it a pour in there. I don't want to put too much in. And let's just put a load in, split it up. Right, so we've got some petrol. Now, what's the time? Right, it's 9:10 in the evening here. I've got to be careful, I'm grumpy bollocks next door don't come out or start filming again. And last time I was trying to get a chainsaw going for someone, because their chainsaw didn't work. I thought, well, have a look at that. Got it running. And started moaning about it, so let's not upset grumpy bollocks. So Give it a bit of a primage. Is it priming? Oh yep, starting to suck fuel. There it goes. Happy days. Right, let's get it on the floor to try and start. It's going to be bloody awkward on that bench. There we go, look. Right, let's put it to start. I think that little switch there on. Let's see what we get. It's got to be, oh, I don't know how many years it is since this has run. Couldn't say. At least 5 maybe? Not sure. Well, that's not good, is it? Bloody handle's just snapped off. Ah, well, that's put a bloody spanner in the works. We have to try and glue that together there. We should see if we can get it running. Hopefully. Might have to clean the plug. Get it out with a 19mm. Let's see what we've got. Either that, or it'll be the points need a bit of sanding perhaps. This doesn't look too bad. A little bit of cloth. Might have to get a wire brush maybe. I wouldn't say it's too bad. That's alright, nothing wrong with that. Champion. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Used to be good. Used to be. That's, there isn't anywhere to put this on. Oh, we've got a spark. There's definitely spark there. Yeah. There's spark, there's no doubt about that. We have sparkulator. Pretty gutted that the bloody handle snapped off. Never had the handle snap off before. That's a bit annoying. I must have done something. Must be karma. I must have done something. Someone annoyed someone or something. They're on start. Needs to warm up a little bit and then it'll run properly. At least it's running. I think we're called out a win so far. Alright, so we've got it running. Now I've got another problem to fix. I've got to try and get that glued back together. So let's take all these screws out, take this handle apart, and we should be able to see the bit of plastic I've got glued back together again. Screws are undone. The throttle, I've got a couple of screws stuck in there that I don't want. Oh yeah, we got the it's awkward trying to do it like this. But we should be. Oh, there's a couple of them screws. Put them in the dish. Oh dear, there goes a spring. Oh, there's another spring. Oh dear. Springs everywhere. Oh well. It's apart now anyway. I have to work out how that goes. So what's the bit we got to glue? That's the bit we got to glue. Look. That glues onto there like that. Okay. Alright. It's just for the swiveling handle, but I need the handle to be there to be able to. Alright, let me show you. So there we go, we've got it apart. Springs bloody everywhere. We'll work out how they went later on. Let's glue this back together first. So that all that is there, that's that, and that is that there. So it's just the swiveling handle because it swivels, so you can cut different hedges at different angles and things. So that just has to go on there like that. I should have a bit of super glue somewhere. Oh, at least I should have a bit of super glue. There's a bit of super glue. Look. Hopefully that'll work. Well, the bloody lid was stuck on it. I had to cut it open a few months ago anyway. I had to get this old screwdriver and kind of smear the glue on. But I got it jigged up there now. Hopefully that will dry. This is bloody good glue, this stuff. It usually dries fairly quick, but it's been open to the elements. I'm surprised the whole bottle's not rock solid, to be fair. Anyway, that's the best I'm going to be able to do with that. Let's hope that works. If it doesn't, the chances of me finding a new handle for this are quite small, so I'm going to have to repair it because people, I doubt they sell spares for it. And whatever. All I needed to do is work enough so that I can trim this person's hedge for them. I said I would, and I'm going to hold my word. I will definitely do it. It's a bit strange they've got a throttle adjustment in there. How are you meant to get to that? It's in the bloody handle. Anyway, lovely. We're in nearly the middle of November now, right? And there's a great big blue bottle fly, just come in here and started buzzing around. I'm not going to be able to film it, it's going too quick, but it's buzzing around. You might even better hear it. Nope, it stopped as soon as I said that. Don't know where it's gone. Anyway, my point is, I was thinking, you don't see flies, like blue bottles and all that, like you used to. I remember when I was a kid, there'd always be bloody flies. You'd go outside, there'd be flies buzzing around. You know, you'd sit down with a bit of food in the garden or wherever you are, flies going for the food. You'd have to keep wafting them away. Put those little screens over bits of cake and stuff you had if you had a picnic. You know, or you'd be indoors and bzzz, flies, you know, you have to get the old fly squatter. I haven't seen flies in the summer for at least 3 or 4, 5, 6 years. Literally, honestly now. Especially this summer, thinking back, there was not a single fly buzzing around anywhere. What's going on? Where's all the flies gone? I miss them days, man. The old days. You know, you think back and you think we didn't relish the times we had. We really didn't. Anyway, I'll see you a lot later on. Thanks for watching. I'll go back if I'm going to refurb that rad. I probably won't, but if I am, we'll do a little video on that. Hopefully this sticks well. And I'll let you know in the next video, another video, whether this worked or not. We're going to leave it overnight to dry. Normally this glue sets in 30 seconds setting. I think it's an hour. I think it's an hour. What does it say? I'm pretty sure it says it sets in 30 seconds, but it's an hour before it's fully cured. Quick set is required. It does sound there probably somewhere. Anyway, I'll leave it overnight because I want it to be as strong as possible. So I'll see you later on. All the best. Cheerio.